Ahoy, hoy, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. Okay, you guys, so I have a confession. There has been this show on Amazon Prime, and it's called Beast Games, okay? You may or may not have heard of it. I didn't hear about it until, episode 2, because I hadn't been on Amazon in a while. But when I went to watch something else on Amazon, all they did was advertise this thing, so there was no escape. So I was like, what the heck is this? But I am a person who loves reality shows and competitions, all the way back to Survivor, which I still watch to this day, The Amazing Race. There was this new show on CBS called The Summit. There's this new thing on Fox called Extract, I think it's called. Just crazy mess that people are just doing things for money. And I don't know how. First of all, I have no idea how I have not been on Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy. I need to figure out how to get on a game show. I'm serious. I need to figure it out. But somehow people found out about this show, and not only a couple people, it originally started out with 2,000 contestants. So this thing is called Beast Games. It's done by this guy named Mr. Beast, whose name is Jimmy Donaldson, I think. Something like that. But now I have seen this guy's videos before. I don't watch all of them, but once in a while, something might pop up or something, and I was just like, oh, it just looks like a whole bunch of college kids doing college things, and they're getting people to do college stuff for money. Okay. But I guess he decided to take it up to another level because he is creating the game with the biggest cash prize ever out of every reality show that you've ever seen. He is going to give $5 million to one winner. Okay, so again, it started off with 2,000 people, and he actually showed how he eliminated he went from 2,000 to 1,000, and how he got to that number. So that streamed on his YouTube channel. Oh, and by the way, I didn't know this until now, but apparently he is the person with the most YouTube followers. He has millions of people. He is number one on how many people follow this guy. So apparently he makes a lot of money. So now I did watch that. I'm not going to talk about it, but when he got down to the 1,000 people, that is when the Amazon show starts and finishes, right? So again, I'm well, how the hell do people know about this? I need to start answering ads in newspapers or something, because I want $5 million. So I started watching the contestants' videos, I guess, as the show went on. Obviously you can't talk about things that happen until it actually airs. So once episodes started premiering, all these people made these videos about their experience and how shitty it was and just how awful. I'll talk about that at the end, but I guess some people went through it. But some people actually went and walked away with something. Now some people didn't. They came in and they left with nothing. However, I thought at the end he said that every single person got at least $2,000. So it may look like they left with nothing, but I think in the end they actually really did at least get something for their troubles. That's a lot of fucking money, you guys. But that's nothing. So I was going to actually watch the show each week and do a video, and that didn't happen because I was doing other videos to kind of get myself ahead. So I'm just saying, I have 10 pages here of just every episode I made notes of what happened. I usually don't show my paperwork, you guys, but I have it here, so you may see these forums once in a while. I'm going to try not to, but I'm going to talk about all 10 of these episodes, whether you like it or not. So when the game starts, they are all in this building in Vegas, right? So there's stories of how people had to fly to Vegas. They couldn't say what they were doing. They all got a hotel room, and they were given their outfits, but then they had to put these garbage bags on top of it, so people can't see what they're wearing or what, outside people. And then it's not until they got into this building then they were able to remove the garbage bags and show it was a whole thing apparently. So they're all in this room, and they're all on these pedestals, right? And this guy comes out, Mr. Beast, and he's like, now first of all, there is $1 million on this stage, okay? I'm giving someone the opportunity to just go up and just take the money. Whoever wants to, not just one person, like whoever wants to take it, take it. You know, one person does it, they are a millionaire. If 2 people take it, it splits. 3 people take it, and so on, right? So actually, we did get one guy. He was like, I'll take the money. And he's like, okay, here you go. Like, he's literally just giving out $1 million. So as time went on, like, there was a clock. There's always a clock with these games. But by the time the clock ended, I want to say it was it was 52. 52 people took that money, and they all shared $19,230. I would be like, that's all? Just I would have been happy with $19,000. But, and that's it. Those people are now rich. They got money. So, okay. So then after that's done, they're in roles right now, okay? And then in order for each team, the roles is a team, and in order for each of the teams to move on, someone had to sacrifice themselves. Okay, be like, I'll sacrifice myself while I'll let everyone else move on to the rest of the games, right? However, the last 3 rows to not have anyone leave, they're just all going to be eliminated. So it's funny because you see people who are like, someone do it. So they're not going to do it. Like the person's like, well, I'm staying. I'm not going to do it. And they're over here begging other people like, someone do it. Someone leave so I can move on. And then when they do leave, they're like, again, they're on these like pedestals, and the floor literally just opens and they drop down. Okay, I don't know what's at the bottom of this thing. It's super Squid Games, but yeah, they all just dropped. And then when they got to that last 3 rows of people who needed to go, like they like fell like dominoes. Like it was crazy.
Drop the row.
So after the people who took the $1 million split, and then the people who got eliminated with these roles, we are now down from 1,000 people to 705. Okay, so now the next game they have to play is like this stacking game. So they're given these blocks. They have a time frame, and they have to stack the blocks and not let the stack fall. The first, was it 100? Let me see. Let me check my notes, you guys. Yes, it was the first 100 people whose stacks fell, they get eliminated. But the problem is you don't know, like if your stack falls down, you don't know if you're part of the 100, you know? I mean, obviously if it just started and your stack falls down, like, yeah, you're out. But as time goes on, you don't know. You're like, did 100 people before me have their stacks fall? So the time runs out. They check the tape, and the first 100 people whose towers fell, like, they're gone. And it was so funny. It's like, when you really think about it, you could have just waited to the end. You could have just waited until the clock kind of ran down and then just start stacking your stuff. And then you would have been good, but you're not thinking about that. Of course, when you're at home, you're like, can't you just do this? Wish they could have. But, you know, when you're there, you're like, oh my God. Like, it was crazy. Like, one girl, I think she lost her piece and it fell into this other girl's tower. Well, her area. And she was like, can I have my piece? And Lady's like, no, I'm not going to give you your piece back, because if I move and shake this thing, my tower's going to fall. Oh my God. Alright, so now the next game was a bribe game, right? So all the people who were left were like, what, 605? Beast was like, I'm just going to offer some money. If you want to take the money, you can take it. However, the catch is, the row that they're in, I think before there were rows going like from front to back when they did the rows, but now the rows now are side to side, right? So if you're in a row and there's still people in that row, if you take the money, that whole row gets eliminated. This game is insane. So like at one point he puts like $20,000 up, and then like people took it. You got a person who took like 50,000. And now what's so funny about this guy with the 50,000? There was a whole like hate video, but like people hated him. I think he eliminated like a lot of people. So he takes them, and he did a video. This guy right here, he made a YouTube video. He was like, let me explain what happened. And plus he was like, the editing made it look like I was like evil and everything. He's like, I didn't do that when I did it. He just kind of made it look like that. It just, So anyway, he takes this money and like everyone is pissed. But he took $50,000. Now here's the thing, and this happens through this show. You got these people who kind of just met. I forgot what day this is taking place versus the day like people on the plane and whatever. So you gotta meet each other when they did the whole 2,000 contestants participating. But now that you get down, you do kind of get to be like, oh hey, you know, my name is Orpheus. Oh hey, my name is John. Oh hey, my name is Mary, and stuff like that. So there were times that people were like, I'm going to sacrifice it because, you know, these people are awesome and they're my friends. You're not my friend. I just met you like, I don't know, 2 hours ago or something. Like, what's my birthday? I don't know you. You're cool. It was nice knowing you. But like, if you literally just going to be like, hey, someone wants $50,000, hell, I will take $50,000. And then he offered like $100,000. Like, oh my god. So we ended up going from 605 to like 493 people remaining. Okay? Like, y'all. So then next after that, we then leave this building. And then apparently Mr. Beast built a city. Like, there's like little houses and a big, huge tower. It actually looks pretty nice. But he calls it the city. So that's where they move to, and then there's a whole bunch of games they're going to do into that, in that area. But, yeah, that was all episode 1. All of episode 1! So now we're on episode 2. So episode 2, everyone is given a token. And the tokens are all different colors, and they all have different symbols. So of course, whoever has the same color and symbol, you are now part of a team. And then they start playing. Oh, let me get my notes here. So it starts off with like a yellow team and a white team, and they play on the 4th floor. So their game is there's this ceiling above them where holes are covering the entire ceiling. And then what they do is they take this red ball and they just kind of drop it, and then the ball is going to bounce, and once it gets into a hole, it falls through. And all you got to do is catch the ball. The ball cannot hit the floor. Okay? So that's terrifying. You're just sitting there going, oh my god, like, is it, and then you think like this person has it but they don't, and yeah, I already know. I probably would have just messed up. I lost it for the whole team. So that's what happens. Like the ball falls and people are like, oh damn, like we're out. But what had happened was they had to review the tape. There's like cameras all over the place. They actually reviewed the tape and found that the ball was dropped by the other team. It just wasn't like, I guess, noticed right away until the next, when they dropped another ball, they just thought, oh, it's still going. And no one said anything. But yeah, so this team, what was it? It was, so the yellow team dropped the ball and they thought they were out. But then when they reviewed the video, it was actually the white team. So, bye-bye white. Okay, so now the next teams are white and green. And they play on another floor where there's telephones. So now this is a game where you have to have people sacrifice themselves to leave the game and deduct the number of players on each team. The player with the least amount of people wins, and the other team, they're done. Right? Is that what it was? So anyway, like someone was going to leave, but then one team was like, we're going to force a tie, but then they end up like 3 left on one team and 4 left on another team, and but it was this whole like mental, like, are they lying? Are they not lying? Like that would have messed with my mind too. So in the end, the white team won that game. The other team got eliminated. Alright, The third game is 2 teams have to now throw a ball from the side of the building down into these cups. So they're just pretty much playing like a big version of beer pong. So they're throwing the balls, but then like this gold cup comes out, and if you were able to get your ball into that gold cup, like you would win like $250,000. But I don't think anyone did, right? No, I don't think no one got their ball into that gold cup. But at the end, the green team wins that one, 13-8. So then the last game, not the last game yet. The next team, they are playing on another floor, and they're playing like trivia. So these people are just being asked trivia questions. Some of these questions are really super easy, and they got it wrong. But anyway, the orange team wins that one, right? So then the final game is now everyone had the 4 remaining teams left had to pick a captain. And so they were just like, is there someone on your team that you might know and you trust? And that's all they know, right? So they pick their 4 people, and the people go up. And what they have to do is there's a screen that's going to show a number. And the numbers is going to keep rising. And the numbers are in dollars. And someone has to hit the button if they want to take the amount that's shown on the screen. And that's it. Now, if they do and take the money, they stay in the game and the whole team gets eliminated, right? So this money's just rising, okay? And by this time, I'm like, who the fuck is financing this show? Is it Amazon or is this all Mr. Beast? And from what I understand, it's all Mr. Beast, right? Is that how much money like YouTube makes? If you're like the top person with the most subscribers, like I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So this money is rising and rising, and at one point it gets to $900,000, and then through the magic of editing, it makes it look like someone does hit the button to take the money, but it's a fake out and the episode ends. So that's the end of episode 2. Damn cliffhanger. Alright, so now we're at episode 3. And we continue with what happened with the 4 captains, right? So I think the money ended up going to like $1 million. But no one, surprisingly, takes the money, right? So everyone is moving on, like no one is eliminated, right? Yay! Okay. So then we move on to potato sack race. Yes, you heard me. Potato sack race. So everyone has to get into a team of 3, and then they do the race. So whichever team wins, those 3 get to live in like this VIP suite, right? I forgot the sponsor. Was it T-Mobile? It was somebody. So it's just like it was this nice little house. So there's all these like cabins around in the city. So everyone lives in a cabin, but I guess it was like this special one that like these 3 people get to live in. All right. So anyway, after that, the next game is the 3 people. I forgot it was the same 3 people, but they have to go into these cubes, right? So it's this big like warehouse looking building, and inside is multiple cubes. And when the 3 people go into the cubes, they see a phone and there's handcuffs. And what this game is, one person from each cube is going to be eliminated. They can either sacrifice themselves, or they can play a game. Whoever loses is out. Like whatever they decide they want to do is how they determine like who gets to leave. Now, the telephone is inside. It's for them to call and just request anything they want. Now, I don't know exactly how long this damn game took, because they literally said you can ask for anything and they will get it. So you had people ordering like costumes. They were ordering pizza. And I don't remember the time frame of how long they had to like decide who was going to leave, but they were given a long time, because like someone had like a pony or a horse come in, like all these different board games. It was insane. Like And then there were some people who were playing cards. Some people were playing like, kid games, and there's these two brothers, and they were in there with a girl, and they just they manipulated this girl. Like, they fucked with her mind so bad. Like, she was crying and everything, and then one brother was just laughing behind her back. They knew what they were doing to that poor girl. But as the time went on, you had it was so sad. That was a sad episode.
2, 1.
I told you I'd do it. I told you I'd do it.
But it worked. You didn't have to play.
So we played. Me and my brother were secretly talking to each other the entire time, and basically she doesn't know about it.
Whoa.
All right. So after we got past the cube game, which is that was still crazy. There's this gold box that comes out, and Beast is the first person that touches this box gets what's inside. So you got people who are like, should I? But this one guy was like, screw this. So he runs immediately to the box and touches it. So it ends up being a ticket. What's this ticket for? It's to get on this helicopter to go to an island. Now, one thing I forgot to mention too. So not only does the winner of this whole thing get $5 million, there is also a private island being given away. You legit will be the owner of this island. Now, they never say where the island is. I'm sure we don't need to know, so that nosy people like me go visit. We're I'm on your island. But, so they're going to start sending people to this island so the games will continue there away from the city at this time. So he gets to pick 5 people. Each helicopter can take 6 people. So then this guy ends up taking 5 guys. So now, of course, the girls are like, oh, he took all guys. How come he didn't take a girl? So we got that whole thing happening. So now once that helicopter leaves, Beast is like, okay, now there is another golden ticket hidden somewhere in the city. If you find it, you are the next person to get on the helicopter. So now he pretty much said go, and everyone scatters. They're looking, they're turning things over, they're looking. And the episode ends. Damn it. Episode 4. Alright, so we have the continuation of find the golden ticket. So, the ticket is found. It ends up being under a ping pong table. So, yeah, it was under the table. He found it, so whatever. Can't hate on him. So, a guy finds it. He ends up picking 5 people, and surprise, surprise, he picks 5 guys. So now the women are pissed. They're no one, a girl has to win something. It's gonna be all dudes on this island. So now they have the next game. The next game is everyone lines up and they are given a ball. And now what they have to do is mentally count down 10 minutes in their head. And the top 10 people, am I saying this right? Let me double check my notes, you guys. Okay, so the top people who drop their ball closest to the 10 minutes without going over wins. Right? So, you have to now count down 10 minutes, or count 10 minutes up. But when you think you're getting to 10 minutes, you have to be the top 10 people to drop your ball before going over. So some people just drop their ball okay, just, I'm not going to sacrifice myself doing that. But, so people are they're doing it, dropping their balls. Now there was this one biatch, right? And she ended up dropping her ball, so she's already kind of out. She's not going to be one of the winners. But she starts just shouting out numbers to fuck up other people who are counting in their head. Come on now.
Time herself. She came up with an idea to sabotage the other players.
17, 14, 13, 11, 12, 48, 47, 46, 5, 6, 7.
Drop your ball, now she's just
But man, there was this one girl, she even squatted down. She was getting to the 10 minutes. She was ready to just drop her ball. But the 10 minutes happened, and she was like, damn. And she put that ball down. You can just see the disappointment in her face. Like, she was like, literally like, okay, I'm getting there, I'm getting there. And she miscounted. Like, that was crazy. So, then the next game is played. Everyone's given a coin. So now what they have to do is they have to select one person to get the most coins, which has to be at least 100. Right? So you have to like just, it's kind of like picking a captain again, right? But you have to be like, okay, we all have to be on the same page. Not all of them, but this person has to get like the most coins. So at least 100 coins. But they have to pick one person to get them. So there was this guy. What was his name? His name was Jeremy, and they wanted to give all their coins to Jeremy since he was one of the people who, when they had the 4 captains and they're supposed to hit the button and they take the money and like the whole team goes away, but no one hit their button. This guy Jeremy was one of those people. So they were like, hey, you know what? Let's reward Jeremy because he could have took any of that money. At least, you know, got up like $1 billion. So he was elected, but there was a whole bunch of people who was like, I don't know Jeremy. Like, I could give a damn about Jeremy. I'm not giving my coin to Jeremy. So there's this whole back and forth, and people are like, oh, just, you know, get it to him. So they did, and Jeremy ends up getting all the coins. So now Jeremy's like, okay, let me go ahead and pick who I want to ride with me on the helicopter. So they're like, oh no, now Jeremy now, like, you know, there was some girls who were like, Jeremy, if I give you my coin, you gotta promise to like pick a girl. Pick someone, because so far it's been nothing but like dudes going to this island. So Jeremy's over here like, well, I'm gonna pray on it. So now Jeremy's over here praying to the Lord to help him decide who he's gonna give a ticket to. And then, so of course, guys are now being picked. So I think what he did was he was like, okay, I'm gonna pick this guy, but now I want this guy to pick another person, and then that person picks another person. So of course, all guys are being picked. But the final person to get a ticket, there was a girl who was selected. And what girl was selected? It was the bitch who, during the ball dropping game, we had to count 10 minutes. She was the one who was fucking up everyone, going like 17, 43, 26, number 9, you know. And it was like, really? She was trying to sabotage all these people, and she's going to the island, but she got the ticket. So everyone was like pissed. Alright, I'm going to do a little speed round now. So the game that follows after that is one where people are in rows and they're given a glass ball and a pedestal. So pretty much they have to pass this ball to the last person in line without dropping it. So you can just imagine how that goes. And then some people are like, yeah, let's just wait till the end before we attempt, because people are going to do it and they're going to drop their ball, and that just kind of increases our chances. So, and then the next game after that, there's this circle, and only one person is able to go into this circle. So they had to figure out if the person is lying that say they're on it, or are they not. But so they get, I think they got blindfolded if I'm not mistaken. And then if someone steps on the circle, they'll say like, hey, there's one person on the circle. And now you got to believe, is there really one person? Are there 2 people? So at one point there were like 2 women on it, and they got eliminated because only one person could be on the circle. So that was a crazy game. So in the next game is another bribe that Beast gives to people. And pretty much on this one, there's just an amount of money, and people can choose to eliminate themselves, and then they split the pile of money that's out, and they leave the game. So that happens. And then the next game, there's a briefcase on the ground, and they now have to drop a red ball off the tower. So they go back to the towers, and the person who gets closest to the briefcase wins. So it's just literally just how to drop this ball, how to bounce, and once it stops bouncing and rolling, it's near this briefcase. So people are doing this, people are doing that, and then some people thought, well, what if I like deflate the ball? If I deflate the ball and drop it, hopefully that won't let the ball bounce too much away from it. But like that theory kind of went out the window at one point. So, but anyway, there was this one girl. She won. She dropped her ball, and surprisingly, it didn't really bounce a lot, and it actually ended up close to the briefcase. So, she won that game. So now the final game is where people now have to pick groups. They got to get into these groups of like, you know, people. Obviously, you got friends who are like, okay, it's a group challenge. You're my friend. I trust you. Blah blah. And we're getting into groups. And one thing I do have to say about this game. Now again, just even from like episode 1, like this is the first games. Like I don't know you. You were cool talking to you like 15 minutes ago, but now that's like, you know, this $50,000. I'm going home with $50,000. So you got these people who are now like people. Some people know each other. Like again, like there's 2 brothers. There were a lot of people who were like related, surprisingly, in this game. So you have people who are like, okay, I trust this person. We've been helping each other since day 1. Blah blah blah. And so they get into these groups, and then people just didn't learn their lesson because before they had to do some things with groups, and well, it gets worse later. But anyway, the point of this game is you get into these groups and everyone's given a coin. Now, the next 6 people from these groups who are given all of the group's coins can now go to the helicopter, right? So if I'm cool with like 4 other people, how many is it? Is it 5? I forgot how many groups there are, or how many people are in the groups. But you know, if I got like 5 people in my group, and I'm thinking like, oh, we're all gonna go to the end, and now one person gets all the coins. Like, how do you determine like? I mean, you could just keep going and just see what happens in the next game, but to guarantee someone goes, how the hell do you do that? So they had to. They just had to be like, let's give all the coins to so and so. Like, let's give all the coins to so and so. So they do. So all the people who got their coins, they were the next people going to the helicopter. So what ends up happening is that was the last helicopter. So you didn't get a ticket on the helicopter. You do not go to the island to proceed. End of episode. So now in episode 5, we are on the island that is up for grabs to whoever wins it. So now this is the episode where, well, it starts to determine who actually wins the island, separate from the 5 million, right? So I don't remember how many people were on the. Well, I guess I could multiply the helicopter. I don't remember how many helicopters there were. There were 6 people on each helicopter. There might have been like, how many games were there? I said I don't know, but anyway, all the people who came over on the helicopter were there. So they're given a choice. They get either, which in addition to the 5 million, they can compete for the island, win the island, and then you still play for the 5 million. Or if you don't want to bother try to win this island, you can just go and just chill. So everyone decides to go ahead and chill except 9 people. There were 9 people who were like, shit, I'll get this island. Which I guess like the talk was, if you get the island, you just sell it. Like, do you have to pay property taxes on an island? Like, I don't know how that. Like, it makes it sound all awesome and cool, but like, how do you get to the island? Again, they don't tell you where it is. So, do I have to fly a plane to a country? They rent a boat? There's no like runway on this island. It's crazy. Like, how do you even get to the island? Can you be like, I'm gonna go spend the weekend on my island? And even if you own the island, like, who do you sell it to? How do you put an ad and be like, you want to buy an island? Like, do you sell it back to the country that it's part of? That's so weird. Is there winter on this island? I don't know where the island's at. Yeah, anyway, 9 people were like, I'll compete for the island. So, the first game they do is they play hide and seek. So, Beast gets like these Navy SEALs to come to the island and they have to find just one person. Like, this is the first game. I feel like there should have been like at least 2, but it's only 1. So they're giving these cameras so that the people, we can see like where these people are and what they're doing. So everyone who's playing gets a little camera, and it's like, go hide. So they're scattering. Like, everyone, I don't think people are like next to each other. Like, people are going up trees. People are like burying themselves under like leaves and shit. Like, I don't know what's on this island. I'm not gonna bury myself under stuff. There's probably rats and snakes everywhere. Oh my god. But the Navy SEALs go out, and plus you're wearing like this bright blue like outfit, so you're gonna stand out eventually. But anyway, one girl gets caught, so she's out. And next game. So now in the next game, everyone is given this colored coconut. You pick a colored coconut, and you go like to this this lane that's set up on the ground, and at the end of the lane there's like this red line. So you pretty much just have to throw your coconut and just be the closest to the line without going over. Right? Nice and simple. So in this one, the first person that got out was the second person who went over the line. So I don't know what that means, what I wrote. But then there were 2 people out in this game. So the second person that was out was the player with the purple ball that was furthest from the line. So anyway, I don't know what I was writing there, but 2 people got out in this game. Hey Vivi, where you come from? What are you doing? I made you watch that show too? So, okay, so the next game is crazy. So, it wasn't even a game. So all the people that didn't compete for the island, they had to vote who they wanted eliminated from that group of 9, right? So, and then so they ranked them. So it was pretty much like, do you trust the person? Are you friends with the person? Do you not like the person? Like all this other stuff. But who would you like to eliminate? So literally everyone voted, and this player, I think his name was Jarek, he ended up getting eliminated. But that's crazy. Like your fate is in like someone else's hands a lot of the time. Like, say I would have took somebody a long time ago. Like I don't want my fate to land in someone else's hands, being like, well, I didn't talk to that person, so they can go. That's crazy. I would have been super pissed. Alright, so now we have another game where we have to pick a captain. So now the captain, there are these boxes, big huge boxes, and the captain has to choose a box to put 1 X in, and then the rest of the boxes he puts a check. So he does it with no one looking, and then one by one people come over, and if you're cool with the guy, he may tell you like which box to pick. It's safe, it has a check mark. But if you have the box with the X, you're eliminated. So there's a whole bunch of tension happening with just the dynamics of like, do I like you? Do I trust you? I don't trust you. It was crazy. So what happened? I forgot. Oh, and then Beast had like this special guest all of a sudden, like out of nowhere. It ends up being Little Yachty. So he comes out and he is just so awkward. Like he's kind of just standing there. People are talking to him and he's giving like weird replies, and he's just, why are you there? There's no point of him being there. Just for no reason. There's Little Yachty.
Little Yachty.
All right.
He has no idea which one has the X.
All right.
So,
Or what's going on.
bring in the next contestant. Come on in.
So anyway, there was this player. He was giving the captain like so much attitude that he ends up picking this box. And turns out he got the X, so he got eliminated. Okay, so the next game was going to be this pirate game where they shoot these cannons at each other's ship and they have to sink the ship, right? But I say the next game was going to be, because Beast came out and he was like, I got $450,000 that someone could take, and you just be like out. So we can do this game where one person just wants to take some money, just go like you can. So this guy takes the money, and they're like, all right, let's go to the next game. Oh my God, I would have took that money so fast. Like before his sentence was even over, that probably would have been a catch, but I was like, nope, I'm taking it. Give it to me. I'm like, $450,000. Like, yes, ma'am. Oh my God. Then there was like, okay, so the next game was like this tile game, and then you had to like determine how many tiles it was going to take for someone to get to the end, and that was a weird game. Anyway, that game played. There's 2 people who are left, right? And now these 2 people are going to the final game for the deed to the island. So there are these suitcases, and you have to now, well, so they start with one person not seeing what the other person is doing. So the person can like clickety clack and switch the briefcases around to convince you like it might be in this one, it might be in that one, who knows. So now the person has to figure out like which suitcase has the deed in it, right? Pretty much. And so the game starts and the episode ends, damn it. So we gotta wait for the next episode. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, like, what are the other people doing who were not competing for this island? I think it was 60, right? Okay, it was 60 people who came over to the island. Because I have the other 51 people who did not compete. So they're all like chilling and having like massages and they're playing games. So they're like at this like weird resort area. Just playing and chilling while these people are like playing hide and seek and shit. So anyway, if I didn't mention that earlier, that's what the other people were doing. So yeah, there were 60 people that came to the island. So on to episode 6. We see that player 952 girl, she opens up the briefcase, she picks the right one, and she wins the island. So we have a winner. Okay, now remember, she still is in the running for the $5 million too, but we do have a winner. Someone wins the island, so that's cool. All right, so now all of the other players come back and everyone is now playing for the $5 million. Okay, so for the next game, they're taken to a location that has 3 doors, right? All right, let me make sure I get this right. So they have to pick one of the 3 doors. So one door is mental, one door is physical, and the other is a game of chance, right? So everyone who picked the physical door goes first, and they have to do a push-up contest. So we get a winner, okay? They then have to do a schoolyard pick to create 2 teams of even players. So since it has to be even players, one person is going to be eliminated. So they do this whole schoolyard pick, and we get a person who was not picked. They get eliminated. So now those 2 teams, remember this is still physical, those 2 teams now have to each pull a monster truck from one end to the other. However, at one point towards the end, there's a speed bump. So they have to pull this, not only pull this thing, but they have to pull this monster truck and eventually get it over the speed bump to win, to get to the finish line. So that was an intense moment. We do get a winner, and it is the pink team. Alright, so now the next group of people who picked the mental door, they have to take an intelligence test. So since the numbers are uneven, whoever gets the lowest score on the test is eliminated to even out the teams. So they answer questions, and then the person who got the lowest test score loses. And then after that, they go head to head, and they pretty much do another trivia game. See, I would have picked this one. I would have picked the intelligence one. Then we go back to the physical group. So now the physical group have to play another game. And pretty much what they do is they have to like run and grab these flags. And the first team to get 5 flags wins. So it sounds simple, but you know, it's not. Okay, so then finally we get to the door of the chance, right? Now this one was crazy. So I think there was like 16 people, right? Yep, so 16 people picked the chance door. And now they literally have to watch this wheel get spun, and whatever the wheel lands on is what happens. So it ends up on like the number 12, which means 12 people have to be eliminated. Oh my god. So yeah, 16 people and now 12 people are leaving. Like, oh my god. They're back on these platforms, right? And now since it's a game of chance, each platform, door, hatch, whatever, will just open. So then it becomes like, do you stay on the platform that you're on, or do you want to move around? So literally, like, there's a round where it's just random doors will just open. And if you're standing on it, like, you're out. So then we go back again to the physical group. And so the physical group are now doing a hanging challenge. So they have to pick one person, so there's 2, and they have to pick a person who can just hang on a bar that's going to be lifted up, and pretty much whoever hangs the longest wins for the team. So they decide who they're going to pick. You know, people are like, well, I do this and climb and da 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 da. So they do, and the bar goes up and fade to black because the episode ends. Episode 7. Alright, so we are concluding with the hanging challenge. And it only took like 1 minute 40 seconds, which, you know, I can't last for like 40 seconds, so I'm not gonna like make fun of these people. But yeah, it only lasted like 1 minute 40 seconds apparently, and then one person dropped. So one team wins, one team loses. Craziness. Alright. So what next? What comes next? I forgot. So everyone for the next game has a bag placed over their head, and then they're loaded onto a bus, and then they go to a random location. Now, what is the train of elimination? Well, what happens is they all have to pick a captain, the whole group. They end up picking this guy. His name was Akira, right? Now, what he has to do is he has to pick 3 of his least favorite people. So this pretty much is like, who do you not talk to, who do you not get along with, whatever, right? So it's funny because then he ends up picking all like black girls. What the hell? And one of the girls is the one who won the island. So she was included in it, right? Now, he's all of a sudden gifted a yellow Lamborghini, right? So there's this one track. So this one track then splits into 2. So what they do is they put the 3 girls on one track and they put the Lamborghini on the other track. And now he goes up onto this what do you call it? Well, it's like this tower that has a lever, and if he pulls the lever, it guides the train to which track, right? So if he doesn't pull the lever, it destroys the car. But if he does pull the lever, the train will go to the side where the 3 girls are at, right? But they replace the girls with these dummies that have their jerseys on, so no one was harmed in the making of this episode. Allegedly, I don't know. But so yeah, so does he either decide to kill the 3 girls and eliminate them, or does he take the Lamborghini? So, or destroy the Lamborghini. Did I say that right? Anyway, he ends up pulling the lever and chooses the Lamborghini. So he chose the car, killed the girls. So he took his car. He's like, shh. Again, the least favorite people. Like, I'm pretty sure it's not a race thing, but maybe he just didn't get along with them, or he maybe just never talked to them. Who knows? There's a lot of people. You know, you form bonds with some people, you don't with others. So he took the car. So now in the next round, they have to pick another captain. And they pick the same dude. They pick Akira again to be another captain, right? So he goes back up the tower, and now he has to pick his another 3 least favorite people, and they go on one track. And now he's given a Tesla, and they put a Tesla on the track. But what he doesn't know is they put $100,000 in the trunk. So if he was to decide to keep the Tesla, unwillingly or unknowingly, he would have gotten also $100,000. But there's a twist, because there's always a twist with this damn Mr. Beast. They take his top friend, because they were like, what you guys don't know is we've been monitoring you and we see who you guys be talking to. Who are you cool with? So I guess in the background, with all the cameras everywhere, someone is like, okay, this person's close to this person, these 5 are really close to each other, blah, 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 right? Alright, so the 3 least favorite people, they go on this yellow track. And then the car and his friend goes onto the red track. Yes, that's what it was, right? I think I'm saying that right. So now it becomes like, do you get rid of 3 people and save the friend and the car, or do we get rid of the friend and the car, save the 3 people? So then what he does is he doesn't pull the lever, and the train ends up eliminating the 3 people and the car. So he was like, I already got a Lamborghini, I don't need another car. And the 3 people, least people that he liked, they're gone too, and he keeps the friend. So the train comes through, plows through everything, and then that's when he learns that there was $10,000 or $100,000 in the trunk of the Tesla. Woo, people. So now we are on round 3. So the running is kind of going towards Akira again. I think they just wanted him to get rid of people so they didn't have blood on their hands. I'm pretty sure that's what was happening. But this girl steps up and she's like, I want to do it. Like, make me the captain. I will do it this time. Because Akira, fuck him. So they agree, and this girl goes up, and now it's her turn. So what does she do? Well, so she has to pick 2 people to go on the yellow track. So she ends up picking Akira. She's like, Akira, you get onto the yellow track. And then she picks another person. And it ends up being Akira's bestie. So she's like, look, this fool just got out 6 people for no reason. You could have kept them. But whatever. She picks him and his bestie. So they're on one track. So, okay, so there's the 2 people. And then there's going to be a third, like, dummy, right? They put dummies on the tracks, so the people are obviously not being killed. So they bring out a dummy, but if she was to eliminate that track, one other person is going to be eliminated. So 3 people, but we don't know what number player it is, right? So that's what it is. Okay, so that's one track. So now, what do they do with the second track? They put this girl's bestie on it. So this girl who was like, I'm going to try to get these people out, which obviously that's what she's doing. Mr. Beast is like, well, hold up now, because we're now, again, they've been watching people and seeing who are close to who. They're like, well, we know that you're really close to player, blah, 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 so we're going to put that person on the other track. So now it becomes like, do I get rid of my bestie and keep the 2 dudes plus the random, like, we still don't know who the third person is. So either way, like, someone is going to lose. And you don't know. So of course she's like, okay, you know what? I'm keeping my bestie because I want the Akira guy out. So she ends up Does she pull or not pull? She doesn't pull. So she doesn't pull the lever, and the train eliminates Akira and his friend. But now there's a third person leaving. And who is leaving? It's her. I forgot what number she is. But the girl who had to either pull the lever or not pull the lever, it was her jersey. So you kept your friend, you got rid of who you wanted to get out, but since you did that, you're leaving. So that was the end of her line right there. Oh, did you see what I did there? The end of her line.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So then we have this final round, and one last captain is selected. So we get another girl, and they're like, okay, now just pick two people. So she picks this guy named Dino and this player 817. And then Dino then has to pick a person to pick him to join him on the tracks, right? And then he ends up picking this girl Jasmine because Jasmine is close to the new captain, right? So 817 now has to pick a new person, or I'll pick a person too, and then he ends up picking this guy like JC, right? Anyway, that was the end of that episode. So that one left on a cliffhanger as well. Alright, so we got episode 8. So episode 8 concludes with the last captain trying to decide what she's going to do. Now, the reason that she picked this guy Dino is because he was being shady and stuff. And so she wanted to get Dino out, right? So what we see is that her decision was to eliminate Dino and her friend. So unfortunately, her friend, who Dino picked to join him on the track, because he figured like if he picks her friend, you know, to keep the friend, they have to keep him too. But she made the sacrifice to get Dino out and have to lose her friend. So she does, and they get eliminated. Like, it's crazy. So now, after 1,000 players, we are down to 10 people left. Okay, I need a drink. Hold on. Okay, so we get like a cute little thing that night where all the 10 remaining players, their family comes to visit them. So they had a couple people, I guess, fly out, and I don't know how they would have organized that. I guess they have to be like, how do people do that? Like, I see that stuff in Survivor, like you're all of a sudden like their family shows up on the island, and you're like, oh my god, my mom is here, or like whatever, right? But like, you know, all these people, like, obviously you have to wait till at least the last episode to now get in contact with these people's, it's like they're a contact, or do they say like, if a family member comes to visit you, like, who do you want? Like, how do they arrange stuff like that? Anyway, their family comes and everyone gets to like, you know, talk and hang out and meet. So that was kind of cool. I always wonder, like, if I ever get on a show like that and they do that whole like I really want to go on Big Brother, you guys. I think I would do really good on Big Brother. I've been watching that from the beginning too. But you know, you get those like messages from home and things like that. But if someone had to come to a location to see you, I always wonder like who would show up for me. Because I like being alone. So I'm not one of those people where I'm like, ooh, I miss my family. I see them every day. Like, I love my family, but like, I don't need to see you every day. Anyway. So then, the next game happens right after the family leaves, and it's still like the same night. And there are these 10 houses. They're back in the city, right? So they now have to vote who gets the first key. So they vote, and that player gets the first key. Now that player decides who gets the second key. So that person's selected, and now that player decides to get the third key, and so on, right? So now you're thinking like, obviously that's going to play into something, who was picked first, second, third, and what have you, right? Right, so what they do is in the middle of the city, they put $1 million, okay? Now each person, one by one, will come out of their house and take as much money as they want from the pile. They could take none. They can take all. They can take a portion. Whatever you think is fair for you, you do, right? So, $1 million, 10 people. So they tell that to the first girl. So she comes out, and she's like, and she's player 830. And 830 is like, well, if everyone does this right, we can all take $100,000. Like, why not? Why not? But you know what? You would think. But that's not what this game is. So 830, she takes $1,000. Then the girl in the next house, or the guy, I forgot. But player 453, he comes out, or she. Shit, I don't remember. But that person comes out. And they had like I think it was a guy, actually. He had like a weird number in his head. He was like, I forgot the logic behind the number, but he ends up taking $223,000. It was 223 or 223. That number meant something to him, so that's what he took, right? So, $223,000. Okay, player 566, he was definitely a dude. Now this guy comes out, and he was like, I am in so much debt right now. And you're like, I am so blessed to be this far, but you are now literally giving like $1 million away. Like, I could just wipe, even though he had all those chances before to take money, but I guess now that he figured he's gotten this far, he's like, shit, I'm just going to take what I need to guarantee my life is being changed. I can pay this off and pay this off and pay this off, because he had like a lot of debt. I think he said he had like 400,000, 500,000. So I think he was thinking like, if I pay off the debt, I can at least still have something left over. So this fool took $650,000 from the pile and leaves $27,000 for the remaining folks. Was that 7? What number are we on? 7 people have to deal with $27,000. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I would have been like, well, my house is this, my car is this. Like, I probably would have did the same thing, but not $650. I would have at least been like, let me get myself like half or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't say. But anyway. So now, player 937 comes out, and they're like, what the fuck? Also, too, I heard that, like, he's at, whenever you see these piles of money, that is actually real money. So when he has $1 million, when you look at the money, they all seem to be ones. So I think he literally has $1 million. They're not tens, they're not hundreds, they're not 50s to 20s. It's literally like $1 bills. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. So then 937 comes out, and she's like, what the fuck? But she doesn't know the last guy took all that. She probably thinks the last 3 people were just taking more than what was needed and left the 27. So they don't know exactly why it's got to 27,000. But anyway, 937 takes 5,000. When 930 comes out and sees what's left, he opts to take 0. And he ends up being the only person to take 0. I don't remember his logic in that, but that's what he had done. 831 is next. They take $7,272. And then the remaining 4 players, which were 974, 424, 947, and 817, they literally decided to split the rest evenly, so they each got $3,682. At least they got something. It was actually kind of cool to see them do that. At least they're like, well, I'm gonna take this much, which leaves this much for the other 3, if they're smart enough to like divide, you know. So yeah, that's what they did. So then afterwards, when everyone got their money, they all come out of their houses and they all say what they took. So this person's like, well, I thought we would all just say $100,000 evenly, and we will all have an even amount. That was the first girl. And then one person was like, well, I took like $2,000 one person's like, oh, I took 7,000, I took 3,000. So, and then, so we're really left with like 2 people. We got the one person, 930. He's like, wait. Was I the only one who just took 0? Like, I didn't take anything. I thought maybe, whatever, again, I don't remember his logic. But they're like, fool, you should have took something. It's like $5 or something. So they're like, well, wait a minute, hold on. That doesn't add up. So 566, I had to be the asshole to confess, like, okay, you guys, like, I took $650,000. So, as you can imagine, like, everyone was pissed. Oh my God. So anyway, this episode ends, they all go to a different floor on the tower based on the number house they were in, and then the episode ends. So we now have to wait for the next week. But yes, y'all, like, that is just... I mean, again, I don't blame them. I don't know you. Alright, y'all, so we are on episode 9, okay? So, after the whole, like, blow up with this money situation from the $1 million, each person, and by the way, like, whatever money they took, they literally, like, slept with that money. Like, again, I think all the money is, like, $1 bills. And so they bundled all this money and put it in these people's rooms, and they're literally just sleeping with, like, all this. Can you imagine? Well, I would have unwrapped that money and threw it on my bed and slept on top of it. But anyway, it needs to stay bundled because they now moved the money, and we go back to the towers, and each person is on a floor of the tower. So now they play another telephone game. So 6 people are now moving on to the finale situation. Okay, 4 people are about to be eliminated. So what they do is they call each other, and they have to come to a conclusion of who they want to move forward. And the person that gets the most votes moves on. But the reason they have their money too is that you can bribe a person. You can be like, hey, I will give you $5,000 of my money if you vote for me, and stuff like that. So they do, and they're given a certain amount of time, which I think, did I say? Oh, they had an hour to do this, right? And this is to pick the first person. So after the first hour, they do, and player 937 gets all the votes. So then the next rounds, when the next rounds come, was it 10 minutes every? No, it might have been 10 minutes every round. But I know the second round, 10 minutes came off the clock, right? Or is that right? I don't know. Anyway, the next round, 10 minutes came off, and then... Anyway, I'm trying to think it was 10 minutes each round, but they go. So there's some trickery going on. Like, people are like, oh, I'm getting all the votes. So-and-so said they were going to vote for me, which they never said. So again, there's a whole lot of manipulation going along. So they pick the next person. 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 So we got 937, 831, 830, 847, 974, and 424 are our final 6 people. So they are moving on to the finale. So they go into this space, another building, and they see the $5 million that they are all competing for. But then, of course, it's Beast, so there's a twist. So then he brings out another $5 million. So he's like, you could potentially be winning $10 million. Okay? Now, potentially. So there's a catch. So he brings out another coin. And he said, one of you guys can flip this coin. If it's, whatever you call, and you win, you stay in the game, and whoever wins this money gets $10 million. But if you flip the coin and call it, and you lose, it stays at $5 million, and you get eliminated, right? So they looked around, they talked about it, and we actually had a person who was willing to do it. Okay, so it was player 974. So he touched the coin. If you touch the coin, that means you're taken on the task. And he flips it, and then of course the episode ends. God damn it! So player 974, he picks tails, he flips the coin, is tails. So he stays in the game, and now the winner of this whole thing is going to win $10 million. Alright, so what they have to do is they line up on these pillars again, and everyone has a tube in front of them. So what you have to do is you're given a ball, and you have to now throw a ball into someone's tube. If you throw it in their tube, they are eliminated. So now it becomes like, are we cool? Are we not cool? Because if you throw it at my tube, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, why me? Why'd you throw it in my tube? So of course that's what's happening. So they all line up in the order they were selected off the tower when everyone had to call and pick a winner, right? So that's how they're lined up. So yeah. So people are throwing it into people's tubes. So 937 throws it at 947. 831 throws it at 937. 830 throws at 937. So as you can see, there's a pattern. For some reason, they're all like, well, let's get this person out. So they're all aiming at this one person. They're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you not? And so, of course, some people are like, well, if I throw it over there, it makes more sense. And if I, like, you know, they're all just saying, like, whatever to let the person hear what they want to hear. But we all know that's not true. So when all 6 of them throw and miss, we now go into round 2. Right? So now we try it again. So again, a lot of people are going for 937 and they're just all missing. We go into round 3. Round 3. At one point, I lost track of the rounds because I was like, I don't know what round we're in, but I know they went around another time and like no one got anything in. So I believe it was like round 4. Okay, so round 4 comes along and 831 throws at 424. And his ball goes in and she gets eliminated. And so then with the next, as they keep going, the next person that seems to get targeted was 947. So now 947 is getting all the balls there too. But even though everyone was trying to get 947 out, 947's turn comes up. She throws her ball and she ends up getting the tube of 937. 937, who everyone wanted out in the first place. So, bye, girl. So then the next game comes. So everyone is still on their pedestal, pillar, whatever it's called. And in front of them, they see a pattern on the floor, right? And the floor is going to light up with these squares. It's going to show a pattern. And you have to memorize the pattern where if you were to go down there and step on each square, you would know how to get from one end to the other. And there is a button right next to them on their pillar. So everyone has to hold their button. Or do they press the button? Wait, what did I write down? Yeah, they have to hold the button. So if you let go of the button, that means you're going to go down and you're going to attempt to go through that pattern, right? So 947, whoever was trying to get out, she decides, I'm going to go for it. So she releases the button. So she goes down. And now, even though there were other people who were like, yeah, I'm just trying to get you out, blah, 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 we actually had a player who was trying to help her. Okay, 831. So, you know, you have to kind of, okay, like, start here. Okay, now go 3, 2, 5, 4, you know, it's zigzag, right? But she says she has it, right? And what's crazy is when she goes down, she starts at, so she's on like the right side of the squares. So she starts from the 4th one to the end. And 831 is like, wait, hold on. I think you need to be one over to your right. You have to be like at the 3rd box. But of course she was like, whatever, fuck you, I got it, right? And she took that one step and that square turned red. And her ass was out. And she, you know, her face was like, what the? And everyone was like, he tried to tell you. But of course, you know, if you're in that headspace, you're thinking like, oh, they tried to sabotage. They just wanted my ass out in the last game, but now you're helping me? Like, fuck you, right? But it ends up being the right assist. But she didn't take it. So she got out. And then what's so funny, she's like, well, hold on. So she ends up walking the pattern, and she got it right. So she could have actually did it if she had just remembered which square to start on. So she gets out, she got herself out. After all that mess. Oh my God. Okay, so now the next game is another one of those, like, we surveyed the previous players, right? So they surveyed the top 50 players to see who they wanted to see eliminated from this game. So the recent 50 that were in the game, they were like, out of this whole game, who do you want to see eliminated? And they all voted. And Beast was like, now here's the thing. I have the results here, and whoever is the loser will be eliminated. However, I now have another $1 million. If someone thinks they are the loser, you just take this $1 million and go. So everyone's like, well, I don't know. A lot of people were trying to get you out. A lot of people trying to get you out. Some people are like, well, no one was really like trying to get me out. Blah, 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 blah. But we did have a player, 974. And 974 is like, you know what? And this is the guy who flipped the coin to get the $10 million prize. But he's like, I don't think I'm safe. Like, no. He was like, I feel like people are gonna pick you. People are gonna pick you. I'm safe. They're, y'all are the ones who have to get to the end because one of you are gonna be out. So he was like, I'll take the money, and then you two just go for the 10 million. So he does. He takes the $1 million, and the game comes down to player 830 and 831. Okay. And then it turns out when they looked at the answer, 830 would have been eliminated, so she would have gotten out. And then 974 could have went to go play for the $10 million that he upped the jackpot to. So anyway, like, you get money either way. I would have been happy with anything at all. Okay, you guys. So after 10 weeks, we are at the final game. It is down to 830 and 831. And now, just like with the game they played to win the island, we get back to these suitcases. And one of these suitcases has the check for $10 million. So they flip a coin to see who's going to go first. And 831... Is 831? Yeah, 830. Wait. Alright, so 831 goes first. 831 goes first. He turns around. He's like blindfolded and stuff. At 830, now has to take the briefcase with the check and put it in one of 10 spots on this like round table. So she can move it. She can do this. She can do that. There's like cases going around. There's 3 cases on the top. And she just has to put it in a spot. And so when it comes time for 831 to choose, he's kind of reading her, and he's like, I feel like she would have probably put it in like number 5 because it's her husband, and 3 kids. So 5 is a good number for her. So it looks like he's going to pick that. And of course, she's over there like, is it? Did I? He goes, but I'm feeling number 6. And you guys, in one round, he opened up briefcase number 6, and he found the check. So 831 won Beast Games. And 830 didn't lose. So now remember, she took the 100,000 when they were doing that house game, right? So any money that anyone had won before, like, that's their money. So technically, she did win a good prize, She did give $10,000 to someone else. I think when they were playing the one game where they had to call and say, like, vote for me. If you vote for me, I'll give you $10,000, blah, blah, blah. She gave her money to someone. So now actually that 100,000 went to 90. But since she was like second place, Beast was like, I'm going to give you $100,000. So technically, she's walking away with $190,000. Like, that's still a good payday, okay? So yeah, so that was Beast Games. Like, this guy won $10 million. And then, of course, they give, like, the sad story. Like, what are you going to do with the money? And blah, blah, blah. So, he had a sweet story. He was talking about how, like, his kid has this cancer. And he's gonna find a cure, But, he's gonna be able to just make sure that his kid, or was it two kids that had it? But, just make sure they have, like, the proper care and things like that. So, now, as a matter of fact, before I did this video this morning, so today is the 15th. So the last episode premiered on, it came out on the 13th, Thursday. There was just this story where people, I guess fans were like, oh my gosh, like the IRS is going to take all his money. So he wins the $10 million, and I guess the IRS pretty much is taking half. So I guess when you think about it, like, he still won the prize because the prize was $5 million, and he's going to walk away after taxes with $5 million. So he doesn't have to, thank you 974. Was that 974? Who upped it to 10, because now the IRS got that money, and you now walked away with $5 million, which is still like the highest money that anyone has ever won on a TV show. So, I mean, it's still a win in my eyes, but those people are going to come for that money, and you on TV, so they know who you are. They're just waiting. They're like, ooh, tax season is right around the corner. Other than that, like, I see there's a lot of people who are just like, Beast Games is the worst game ever. Oh my god, this show sucks. This show is horrible. I mean, what show is not? Like, you got people asking questions, rolling balls down hills on Fox. Like, there's a whole bunch of, like, stupid shows for money. But, I mean, I thought this was interesting. Just, what always killed me is the games where they're like, pick a group. And people are like, oh, we're cool. Like, come over here. But you have to think, like, come on. Like, he's going to make you do that so that he says, now, one of you have to die. You think you have to die. I would be like, no, I know we're cool. Like, good luck. Go play over there. I'm going to play with these people who I don't know. Because if they say now one of you has to die, I won't feel bad. I'll feel bad if you died in your group, of course, but that's not on me. Like, I wasn't the cause of that. So there were so many times where people were just like, yeah, come on, girl. Oh, come on, dude. We're going to team up. And then they're like, okay, well, one of you cannot do this, and one of you is going to move on. And then they're all, like, disappointed, and it gets hard. Like, obviously, you have to sit there, and you just have to they want that emotion. That's really all it is. But it was interesting because it really made me think, like, what the hell would I do in that situation? Yeah, I can't handle that. Would I do it? Yes, but I can't handle that. So now I was realizing really early on, because when people were able to start talking about the show when it first started, when things started to air, I guess there's a lot of like lawsuits going on with this show. Like people were talking about like the food they were given were horrible, some conditions were horrible, like they were taking people's medicine and everything was like locked up. So people who had to take medicine it was hard to get it back. Everything was put into a locker or some locked up room or something. Where had that stuff at? Yeah, like people were denied food, water, medication, beds. There were a whole bunch of injuries reported, mistreatment, sexual harassment. People were not paid overtime. I mean, there's a lot of people. Obviously, they were not prepared for the amount of people participating, and you have to deal with all the people's problems. Like, I know there were people who were also hired too. They were mistreated, so they left, and then other people had to take on those responsibilities. Like, I can just imagine, like, this is just something I feel like they put together and they learned as they went along. Everyone had to sign waivers. They could die, saying that they could die on the show, and it's not their fault if they do. If they spoil the outcome, they have to pay a $500,000 fine. It's crazy. So, yeah, there was like a whole bunch of lawsuits going on. And then again, like I said, there's a whole bunch of people who were on it. Like, literally, like, I was player blah, blah, blah on Beast Games. And then there's like a 2-hour YouTube video about their experience. I was watching, like, the shorter ones. But then some people who I did recognize, like, again, the guy in the beginning where they're like, if you pick the money, your whole row gets out. Like, I watched his video, and heard his version of the story. There was a girl on the YouTube video where when they had the 2,000 people, and there was this one point where everyone was on, like, they were all together, grouped on this like platform, and when the clock starts, whoever jumps down and touches the money, they get the money or something, but they eliminate the team. It was something like that. Like if someone jumps down off this pile of people, the whole team is like out. But I think you had to like run to some money. I guess if you touch it, it's yours. But the thing that happened was, Beast gave the microphone to one of his friends. So it's not just him. Like I said before, it's like college kids doing college stuff, making people do college things. So of course, Mr. Beast is not alone. He has like 10 of his best friends around him, and they're helping out and doing things, and so they're there. So sometimes they get into the action too. Like they'll have the microphone and they'll go interview someone like, ooh, what are you gonna pick? Like, okay, this is the next game. Like, and they're putting the mic in people's faces and things. So he gives the microphone to this one guy, and I guess he went, yo! And this one girl who I guess already in her mind, she's like, I'm gonna take this money. She thought he said go, and she jumped off the thing. And they were like, well, no, the clock didn't start. We said when the clock starts, this is when you make the decision. And she was like, oh, I thought I heard go. He's like, okay, but anyway, the clock didn't start. Like, and no one said go. He said yo. She was like public enemy number one, because they were like, this girl was fearing for her life because she just eliminated a whole bunch of people for no reason. The thing didn't even start yet, and she jumped off, and now you have people who were just out. Like, you're out. Oh my god. It was nuts, okay? Whew. You guys, so yes, that was Beast Games. It was totally crazy. Did you watch it? Did you see any of the episodes? Like, is there anything I missed? I think I said everything right. Like, I was trying to write down and stuff was happening, but yeah. And then he was saying how next time is going to be bigger. Now, I'm pretty sure he said that before all the lawsuits that were coming in, so I don't know if there's going to be another season, or if there is. They really got to make sure they know what they're doing, so there are no other issues. Maybe not have 2,000 people again. I don't know. I mean, they did it. They made it through. But like, again, who is financing this? He was even saying like, okay, we're way over budget. I assume this is all coming out of his pocket. Especially, he was like, I didn't think this coin flip was going to result in the prize money being $10 million. He thought someone's going to go, bloop, and it's going to lose. He's going to go, yes, I don't have to pay that out. But he did. No, but seriously, like, how much does he get paid by YouTube? We'll find out. Alright, you guys, let me know in the comments below, like, what you thought of the show. If you watched it. I already ruined it for you, so there. Alright, so, yeah. Let me know in the comments. So, please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next episode. So, until then, TTFN.